Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals host Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. This is a pair of two teams in the AFC that both won their opening games of the 2025 season. Let's start with Joe Burrow because he has been so talented in his career, and he did not look great in week one. Now, a lot of that had to do with a certain player, number 95, off of the edge for the Cleveland Browns, having a massive impact, 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, continuously disrupting the Cincinnati offense. Now, Burrow was not able to get the ball out on time due to his playmakers, right? T. Higgins, Jamar Chase did not have big production in this game. They also did not have that many targets. Jamar Chase, only 2 catches on 5 targets. T. Higgins, 4 targets, 3 catches on the day. It seemed like Cincinnati was behind the 8 ball, that they were not able to ever get ahead in this one. Chase Brown obviously is the featured and only back that Cincinnati seemingly has, 21 carries for only 43 yards. Cincinnati held to well below 200 yards of offense in the opener on the road against Cleveland. Now, where you can hang your hat on is the fact that your run defense was great, that they did a very good job of stopping the run game, and they're going to look to continue to do that against Jacksonville in week 2. The Jags rushed for a bunch of yards, 200 yards rushing against Carolina. So Cincinnati as a defense can say, hey, we like what we did as a defense against Cleveland. Let's keep it going in week 2. Trey Hendrickson looked good. He had a sack, he had a tackles for loss, already having an impact in this game. Obviously, for Cincinnati, those 2 wide receivers are where the offense starts from. And if you are the Jacksonville Jaguars, you need to stop those guys first. Jaguars have 2 first overall picks on this team in Walker and Trevor Lawrence. Travis Hunter, obviously. I loved what I saw at times from Jacksonville in week 1. That offense looks really explosive in what they have on the outside. Travis Hunter, 6 catches for only 33 yards, but obviously was the main factor in this offense as far as the targets. Just one more target than Brian Thomas, but Brian Thomas, 1 reception on 7 targets on the day. Carolina did a great job of limiting him. They have some good corners there, but that I believe a lot of Jaguar people aren't familiar with. So immediately, that's where we have to go, to the weapons that both of these teams have. These are 2 offenses that obviously want to air the football out. Trevor Lawrence, not crazy efficient, 19 of 31, 178 yards, did have the interception, did have the touchdown, but they need to rely on their run game. Get back to it. You played that well against Carolina. If you do that every single day, running the ball for over 6 yards a carry, this is going to be a Jaguar team that wins their division, can win some playoff games if they keep playing like that. Now, Cincinnati, are they truly a good defense with the way they looked against Cleveland in week 1, taking the football over, stopping the run, making Joe Flacco uncomfortable in the pocket? Or was that just 1 week? Are they going to be tested by the Jaguars in week 2? Mainly is my question, right? Cincinnati's favored by 3.5 points, which a lot of Cincinnati fans say, all right, that makes sense. I guess that's fair with the way that we looked in week 1. There are a lot of areas that need to be improved, but I got to tell you, I, so far as a lean there, think that 3.5 will not be enough, that this offense will open it up in week 2 and that they are going to attack. Now, those 2 edge players that are in Jacksonville are 2 of the best in the NFL. Obviously, Travon Walker, we're looking for him to have a little bit more of an impact in this game. And, of course, Josh Hines-Allen. He is the type of player that can be dominant, a great guy off the edge, obviously earned that really big contract. Eric Armstead for Jacksonville, the former Super Bowl player for San Francisco when they went to that Super Bowl and lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a major factor, a big part of why they did so well. But Josh Hines-Allen, you got to stow up in the stat sheet, have to make plays for your team. Obviously, a larger impact than just not showing up there, but he needs to get after Joe Burrow. That's the main focus. You have to get pressure on Joe Burrow early and often, make him uneasy in the pocket. Obviously, it had the effect to where the Bengals were adjusting their game plan. They were running the ball a little bit more, and they just did not have the ball for all that much time in their week 1 game. They play a lot more games like that. They're going to find themselves not in the playoffs once again. 36 minutes for Cleveland. So all of this points exactly to the way the Jaguars played their week 1 game against Carolina, where they had time of possession, where they were hold on to the ball. It is an opportunity for them to show people they can move to 2-0, realistically be a threat. Remember, the Houston Texans fell to the Rams in week 1. If they could move to 2-0, getting a win within the conference, immediately as Jaguar fans, you're thinking, all right, we've got the weapons here. Maybe it hasn't looked great early, but now we can move on to the rest of our schedule with a ton of confidence after beating this team, because it does not get any easier. You've got Houston at San Francisco, and then the Kansas City Chiefs the next 3 games after Cincinnati. A lot of very good quarterback play coming up. So starting with Joe Burrow, can the Jaguars play good enough against Joe and limit that passing attack? Now, there is an amount that is a cap on how much you can limit these guys, because there's only so long it will take before the Bengals look like themselves the way they naturally will always do. So if I am a fan of football, I'm excited to see Travis Hunter get out there a little bit more on defense. I believe that his number of snaps on defense will increase. It's been talked about playing him a bit more as he adjusts to the speed, the physicality of the NFL level. How awesome was it to see him go out there week 1? But this week, T. Higgins, he's lined up against Jamar Chase. As college football fans, I make college football content daily, weekly that comes out. Love talking about it. And the intersection, once they get into the National Football League and we see these players again on Sundays, is one of the most fun things as a fan that loves both sports dearly. It is just incredible. It's Christmas every single Sunday. And we're fired up to see that. How will he fare against some of the best competition? I've got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins as the best wide receiver duo in the National Football League. You can come at me and disagree with that all you want, but I don't think any Cincinnati Bengal fans are going to be too upset by that. And I think Jaguar fans are saying, okay, I understand that, but Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas, we're going to be up there pretty soon. So a ton of talent. We've got 2 first overall picks in this draft, Trevor Lawrence versus Joe Burrow. Obviously, that will be very exciting. But the defensive play that gets overlooked a lot of the time when you have 2 first overall picks is always going to be a key in stopping the run. The over-under in this game, 49.5 points, have to be honest. That seems to be like the correct number, right? I feel like there's going to be around 50 points scored, that the final score of this game will be something like 27-23, right around that range. Now, who has the 27? Who has the 23? I believe that Cincinnati scores 27, that they just barely hold on and cover the spread, and they beat them 27-23 in their building. I'm expecting the offense to open up a little bit better and them to attack the Jaguars when they have their opportunities. I believe that Cincinnati is going to come out passing that football, that Jamar Chase, that those offensive meetings that they have going into this game, that they're going to say, hey, we have better players than anyone we're up against. Get me the football early. Get Higgins get him some targets. Really one of the best throws of Joe Burrow's day was on like a 3rd and 8. He found T. Higgins, big body at that 6'5" on the outside for a first down on a drive where Cincinnati went in to score, and they held on to the win over Cleveland. Cleveland with a chance to take the lead. Cincinnati Bengal fans already close to having heart attacks week 1 at Cleveland, a team that, to be honest, they respect as a divisional opponent, but this is a team that is proud enough that they believe they should beat them. So Patrick, the right guard for Cincinnati, he's going to miss some time, so that obviously impacts them in the run game. Chase Brown for Cincinnati, he has looked good coming off of that injury. We had question marks on him after he got hurt against Denver late in the year. He looked great in that matchup against Cleveland. Didn't have a ton of yards, but he does look like he will be the same guy that he was a season ago, which of course was the main question mark. If he could retain that production, I think he'll have around 20 carries once again, but he'll have certainly more than 40 yards rushing. Wyatt Milam, the guard for Jacksonville, he's questionable. A couple other players in the trenches on that offensive line got to stay healthy there. That's a little bit of why I think that Cincinnati gets this win, is the offensive line did get really smashed, but I don't know if you face a better front than Mason Graham up there, Myles Garrett feeding off of each other. So 27-23, Cincinnati gets the win. Let me know down below whether you agree, disagree with that prediction, who wins this game. I am so excited for this matchup. There are tons of narrative storylines that we'll get to break down after this one. Please subscribe for more content in the future. We're so excited. We've got football games to actually talk about, break down, predict, get into the future. It's not just guessing at what the results will be on the field, who's actually going to be playing, getting playing time, being factors, and we get to actually look at games that will be played, be able to break down the results on the field, and then obviously talk about it and having a whole bunch of fun doing. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.